What a lovely day for a Zoom meeting. I can't wait to see all my kids today. Boy, do I love kids. So I've got my Zoom settings up and ready to go, and I'm waiting for my first student. Oh, there's my first student. It's Fusaro. Good. Okay. Hey, Fusaro. Let me just let you in real quick. And as I'm letting Fusaro in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen because I have a do now that I want people to see. There it is. And so now I'm sharing my do now screen. It looks like Kristen, my first student, is connecting to audio right now. And then once she connects, oh, we're good to go. Good morning, Kristen. You can see my screen here. Kristen, are you there? I can't see you. Can you please turn your camera on? Your microphone's muted. What's going on, Kristen? I most certainly do not. I got to stop screen sharing. This is just terrible. Oh my gosh, Kristen, why would you write something like that? Is this even Kristen? Good question. So one of the issues we've had are people coming in and annotating your screen. And one of the ways that we can stop that, we tried to stop it in our Zoom settings. You might be familiar with signing into your Zoom settings, but it does not seem to stop it in your personal meeting room. You actually have to go back in when you share that screen. So when I share this screen to begin with, I usually do this before any students arrive in the waiting room, and that way I can go up here, click more, and you'll see there's an option to disable the annotation for others or to show the names of the annotators. Now I'm going to go ahead and click show names of annotators because maybe I'm doing some kind of a math problem and I want students to annotate it, or maybe I'm putting together some ideas and brainstorming and I want students to annotate the screen. So if we put that in there, now when Kristen goes to try to draw something, we see exactly who's writing it. But there's a problem with that. It said Fusaro was writing it, but do we even know if it's truly Fusaro? So we need to make sure that we check that first and foremost and have the correct students in our meeting. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. If I don't want students annotating at all, what I'm going to need to do is go back up there, click more, the three buttons right there, right, for our controls, and we need to disable annotation for others. And once we click that, the members of the meeting will not be able to annotate your slides. You'll be able to annotate them, but not the members of the meeting. So this might be a good safety mechanism to prevent people from drawing inappropriate symbols or having the wrong thing up. Another issue we have will be the students that come in and they unmute and start saying something crazy or playing some music, hopefully not doing anything inappropriate there. It's not just annotations we're worried about. So over here in your participants window, if that's not there and it's missing, you can actually just go down here to participants. When you click that, the participant window comes up, and then there's some additional options over here where these three dots are. If you click that, you want to make sure this is not checked off. This says allow participants to unmute themselves. That's when they can unmute and just go nuts, right? And if you want to have a little more control over that, by unchecking that, so that option's not there, the students will not be able to unmute themselves. The only thing they'll be able to do is listen to what you have to say. Now, do we even know if Fusaro is really who she says she is? Is she even from our New York City domain? Well, the way we're going to have to figure that out is to go into our settings. But before we do, if students being a problem like that, make sure you've started recording your meeting, and feel free to go over here to more and remove them. You can also report that user as well, but remove them. We can get their personal information later. Okay, so right now I'm going to bring over our Zoom settings. So the way we can control our settings will be to actually log into Zoom. So we're going to zoom.us, and of course you want to go to My Account. Now this could automatically come up, but to access this you're going to have to use your DOE credential, much like you used to sign into Zoom in the first place. So we go in our settings, and then if we go in Meeting Basic over here, you can see that the administrators have locked certain features in place, but we do have the freedom to set who can share their screen. Maybe you want a student to share their screen. I don't in this case. So I make sure that's host only. And then of course down here for annotation, only the user who is sharing can annotate. So if I'm the only one who's sharing the screen, I'm the only one who can annotate. But we just saw Fusaro just annotated my screen. The problem is that's not enough. We actually have to go into the meetings menu here, and my personal room, if that's what you're using as a personal room, you need to put those settings in here as well, and people aren't doing that. So we have to go to our personal room. So here's my information with my passcode. I'm going to edit this, and then when I scroll down, I have mute participants upon entry, so that's good. But again, remember, you have to prevent them from unmuting themselves if you don't want them talking. And then I need to go over here to only authenticated users can join. Okay, and what policy do we want to use? We want to use the student policy, because that's going to make sure that only DOE students can access our Zoom and nobody else. And we're going to see that that's important that we have that setting selected. We did not have it selected before, because when we run a report, we're going to find that Fusaro was not who she said she was. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this setting, and you have to do this prior to starting your Zoom meeting. If you do this during your Zoom meeting, it's not going to work. It's going to kick in on your next Zoom meeting once you X out. So we can go over here and click reports, and then we can look at our usage. And when I do, what you'll notice is, oh, here we go, 9:23, that's today, and we've got this morning, so we've got 3 participants here. If I click on the participants, you'll see exactly who participated in this lesson. And you'll notice that we've got a couple different versions of Fusaro here, and it all is coming from a different email. Whoever this was, they used this credential for Zoom, but they changed their name. So we have to be careful of that. So this tells us there's a problem there. I can also get the meeting data in there and export this, and it will give me a nice Excel sheet that I can open up. And this really helps when you want to do some sorting of emails or particular names. So you can actually put the names of the students in alphabetical order and use that for attendance if you want to as well.